Hi everyone, Delisa here, Faith in Sparkles World, and this is Boss Chronicles, where I unpack leadership literature that is here to support your growth. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you like this episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Now today, I'm actually doing this episode outside by the lake, in nature, in water. Water, not in water. And I'm actually going to be unpacking two special books. Now, the last couple of weeks, I did the unpacking of a sales book. And so we're going to continue that series. And today I'm unpacking two books. One is the Sales Bible, The Ultimate Sales Resource by Jeffrey Gitomer. And the other one is called Sales Magic, Revolutionary New Techniques That Will Double Your Sales in 21 Days by Dr. Carrie Johnson. I picked these two books specifically because it actually is compounded upon the sales book that I did 2 weeks ago. And the reason why I did that is because in that initial sales book, it was talking about the psychology of selling. And that's very, very important. It's talking about being authentically you, being your authentic self. These books actually expands on it, but it goes in a bit more detail. So in the Sales Bible, this one is a bit older. It's updated. It's a new revision, but it has been around for many years, if I'm not mistaken. And in there, they're just talking about different sales techniques, wording specifically that you can use, as well as questions that you can ask. And that's important because you need to understand your customers. You need to understand yourself. You also need to recognize which books or which questions actually to ask your clients. And the reason why you need to know which questions to ask your clients is, well, because if you're not asking the right questions, then you wouldn't be able to provide them with the solution that they need. And if you can't, even although you have the solution, if your questions aren't targeted to their pain point, obviously, you won't be able to support them or help their growth, and they will go to someone else. And this is one of the key reasons why in the Sales Bible is talking about the ultimate sales technique. It's upgraded, it's a new revision, but it's based from old selling techniques. I'll give a really great example. I went to Sephora, the beauty store, and when I was at the counter, the sales girl started to speak very quickly. And one of the things that she was saying to me is, if I have 2 items, but she wanted me to buy a third one, then I could get something free. But what she did was spoke so quickly, which is part of some people's sales strategy and technique, that when she did that, all I heard was free. Instead of jumping in and saying, yes, I want something free, I just heard free. And I said, oh, so what can I get for free? She continued to repeat what she said, but she said it so quickly that all I heard once again was free. That's what I heard, because I thought, okay, these 2 items gave me a free product. What she was saying to me was, you buy these 2, I have these 2 products. If I buy another product, then I can get a free product, such as the lip gloss, for example. Now, my daughter was very excited because she also thought, oh, Mom, you're getting something free. Can I get the lip gloss? So that's what we were going for. But after I slowed her down and I said, can you please explain to me what is the free item? She told me. And then I said, so these 2 products that I buy gives me a free item. So I had to slow her down from trying to upsell me so that I can understand what it is that is required to get this free product. Now, did I get the free product? No, because I didn't need it. I don't need to buy an extra product just to get an extra lip gloss because I have lip glosses. But she was doing her job and trying to upsell. And so when you're in sales, it is so important to understand the psychology of selling. You need to understand the techniques and how people sell, like how they think. And we live in such a time where knowledge is so open for everyone, you could just go on Google. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake. You go on Google, you type in anything and something pops up. And so we need to take that time really to slow it down, understand what it is that is being asked, and then on top of that, recognize, do the thinking in our own brains to know, do I need this? Do I not need this? Why or why not? And so that's where the book with the Sales Bible, the Ultimate Sales Resource by Jeffrey Gitomer, this comes into effect because now you're understanding where sales coaches or salespeople, where they're coming from. That doesn't mean you're going to take everything from the book. That doesn't mean you're going to adopt every single technique. What it does mean is that you're getting an understanding. You're gaining some knowledge. So when you're with your coach, for example, or you're selling your product, your service, you can utilize certain techniques that aligns with you specifically, so that when your marketing team is going out there and your sales team is going out there and you're getting on the phone with other people or you're selling your product, it's people connect with you. People can connect with you. They understand you because you're effectively communicating with them. And this is why I actually picked this particular book. Jeffrey Gitomer says here, says, do something that says, I took the time to get to know you and I'm acknowledging my appreciation for your business. Take the time to get to know your customers, your clients. What do they need? So yes, you're getting on a phone call with them, but that is where your listening ears comes into effect, and you have to listen to what they're saying verbally as well as non-verbally. And as I mentioned in the first sales book that I unpacked 2 weeks ago, it actually talks about that. And it shares about listening to your customer, listening to your clients so that you can effectively connect with them. You can work with them. So the Sales Bible, the Ultimate Guide, it is such a quick reference. And the good thing about this book is that the texts are large print. It's not fine print. It's a larger print. So it's easier to read, quick to digest, and you can actually start implementing some of these strategies yourself. Now, this does not, just because I'm unpacking a book, this does not take away from your sales coach that you're possibly working with or you're thinking about working with. What this does, as I mentioned, is give you the knowledge, give you a bit of understanding so that when you're working with your coach specifically or you had a coach and you work with them, you're taking or you're utilizing what they've coached you through, and now you're just compounding, you're adding on to the understanding and perhaps a bit of wisdom that you've already gained. So that's with the Sales Bible. Now we're going to get into Sales Magic. So we're here with Sales Magic right now. It's called Revolutionary New Techniques That Will Double Your Sales in 21 Days. Can this book be effective? Yes. Yes, it can be. Right? Once we apply certain things in our life, it can actually work for us depending on the level of work that we are doing. As I mentioned, this does not take away from your sales strategy that you're already utilizing, unless your strategy is not working, your sales team, your sales coach that you're probably using. If something is working, great, keep using it. What this actually is for is to actually help you to make sure that, what am I doing? How can I increase my connection? How can I become better at sharing my value with another, right? That's when you're sharing your value, you're actually selling. Me being on here right now, I am selling to you. Yes, I'm unpacking certain books, but at the end of the day, I'm selling myself right now and by providing the value about these books that I'm reading and unpacking so that you can best understand, hey, can this work for me? Can this not work for me? And also for you to understand when you're working with your coach, or taking a new sales program or marketing program or whatever it is, it gives you that bit of knowledge that you're going to need so you can be successful. Now, this book guarantees in 21 days it can happen. And I will say that it is possible. It can happen. But you must understand, for anything to work, you also have to do the work, and you also need to have things in place. I will repeat that. For anything to work, you have to do the work. And then you also need to have systems in place. I have an upcoming workshop that's coming up at the end of October. That's great. Love it. But now I have to work with my marketing team. I have to set up a system so that when I am on camera and I'm talking about the upcoming workshop and I'm bringing in the guests, there's an entire system set up so it's easy for the customer. Now, I'm here to share my value, right? I'm essentially selling. This is my wisdom. I'm selling my wisdom here, right? I'm selling my expertise. I'm providing value to people who have a problem, right? They need a problem solved. In this case, what I'm solving is humility and confidence as leaders, how it can actually work together, how it can benefit you. Now, with Sales Magic, this book in particular by Dr. Carrie Johnson heavily works with the sales book that I did 2 weeks ago. And the reason why is because in that first book, when we started this sales series, I spoke about, it spoke about actually the psychology of selling. It talks about the emotional selling, how to align yourself emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually, so that you are connecting genuinely and authentically with your prospects as they recognize that you are the solution to their problem. And so this is where Sales Magic, revolutionary new techniques that will double your sales in 21 days, come into effect. Now, the first part of the book, it's a pretty slim book, but it's bigger than the last book. It's talking about the psychology of buying and selling. Well, who cares if there's psychology of buying and selling? You should. I should. Because it is a psychology. Remember, customers are more aware right now. They're more aware than ever. There is so much noise out there in the marketplace, on social media, on billboards, on TV, on radio, on the internet, that people need to know that you have the solution. And so there's a psychology, because they have all of this information. That also means that they're sharp, they're smart, they are aware that they may have a problem. And it's those who are ready to solve the problem. They're looking for your solutions. They're looking for my solutions, my expertise, or your expertise. And so you need to do the work. You don't necessarily have to go to school to become a psychologist, but you need to understand the psychology of selling. And this is where you see top salespeople in their fields. That is what they're focusing on right now. The psychology of selling, objection handling. So they make sure that you are aligned within yourself. Psychologically, you are ready, that you're listening effectively, that you're mirroring the prospect, that you're doing all the things in a genuine and in an authentic way as possible, because prospects now are very smart. They're sharp. They are aware of so much. There's so much knowledge out there. And so that's where things come into effect. And this is why you need to understand the psychology of buying and selling. And this is why you have to do the work inwardly within yourself so that you are aligned, you are connected within, so that you're making sure you're providing the value that your prospects need. And so when your marketing team goes out there and they're doing the work, your prospects can actually see that you are the solution that they need to their problem. In part 2 of Sales Magic, it talks about how to successful sales strategy. Now, it talks about effective listening. To listen effectively is the building blocks of trust. It is the building blocks of trust. When people trust you, they will buy from you. And so you need to listen. And listening isn't to listen to respond. Listening means you're actually listening to what they're saying verbally, non-verbally, emotionally. And this is why the psychology part needs to get done beforehand, because then you can effectively listen. So you can provide your prospects, your potential clients with the confidence. You can build up their confidence so they can trust you. The other thing it talks about is verbal techniques that build trust. So what are verbal techniques that build trust? I'm going to share one with you. It is repeating back to the person that you're having the conversation with, to your prospect, what they've said to you. So a prospect comes to you and they say, things aren't working out very well. I'm not seeing the results that I need. I'm not seeing the team building that I need, for example. Well, if you're effectively listening and you're paying attention to them, then bottom line, you've gained their trust. Secondly, now after they've spoken and you've ingested, you've paused, you've taken the time to really reflect on what they've said, now you can repeat back, just so I'm clear, this is your problem. You're not seeing the results with your team. And then you can start asking questions. When did things shift? How long has this been going on for? Et cetera, right? And then that in itself, with the verbal techniques, that helps to also build up the trust. So you're not going straight into sell. What you're doing is listening. When you listen, people will feel heard. People will feel seen. And that right there is that connection point that is one of the building blocks. The verbal piece is repeating back to them what they have said and asking very specific questions. So that's that second building block. Now they felt seen. Now they felt heard. But now you're asking questions so that they can reveal more about the situation, and that capitalizes on the trust that you've already had because you listened. The next part is mirroring. And mirroring is that nonverbal thing. So if you've ever walked into a room or a space, or you're having coffee or tea with someone or dinner with someone, you see maybe they're sitting up tall. So automatically, if you admire this person, you want to sit up tall too. So now you're mirroring them. You're reflecting to them, right? Or you can get them to mirror you. And the reason why mirroring is so important is because it's building trust. Now, if they're slumped over, you don't want to be slumped over, but you can mirror the opposite of them slumping over, and you can show the empathy where they're feeling sad, anxiety. You can show the confidence. You can show confidence. You can show empathy towards them. And so then they can see the opposite of what it is. But generally with the mirroring, you want to mirror back non-verbally, and you want them to mirror you. most importantly, you want them to mirror you, because if they're mirroring you, that is building the trust even more. If you're standing up tall, shoulders back, spine erect, you're speaking easily and effortlessly, they too want to match you. They want to mirror you. And if they are mirroring you, that means they are trusting you. So these are all the nonverbal things that's happening. It's like, if you take a drink, they take a drink. You're smiling, guess what? They're smiling. So when you see people coming up, they'll say, hi, how are you? They either raise their hand to shake it, or hi, how are you? They bend down, or they put their hands by their heart. Then the other person now is like, automatically, I'm smiling. Hi, I'm great. How are you? And they either bow down like, I'm great, or they shake your hand, depending on the custom or the culture of how people operate when they're greeting each other or they see each other for the first time. That is mirroring. That is what's going to build the trust. Now, there are more that they go into, as well as pacing and leading. And the reason why I'm ending up with the pacing and leading is because, one, we're running out of time, but pacing and leading is part of your leadership. You set the pace. You have to set the pace, and you have to lead the conversation. And yes, building the trust, the affecting listening, the verbal technique, the mirroring, you are leading them to your value, to your solutions, to their pain point. And so that means you have to set the pace. Now, in saying that, you cannot go so fast that, or use terminology, language, examples that your customer, your prospect cannot relate to. Because if they can't relate to you, that means that they're not connected to you. And if they're not connected to you, they're thinking that you do not have the solution that they need. So this is why you're listening. This is why your verbal technique, your mirroring, the asking the specific questions. When you're pacing it, you're setting the tempo. And you're being a bit direct because you're asking specific questions to draw it out of them. And you're leading the conversation. They're not taking control of the conversation. Instead, it's you. Now, when you work with any sales coach, they will tell you this. Of course, I am not a sales coach, but it's true. I do leadership coaching and business coaching and consulting. So I see this, I share this information all the time. And I utilize this as well. And so this is what I see. This is my experience. But with a sales coach that is giving you objection handling, they're giving you training on other areas. They will show you how to set the pace, how to lead the conversation so that your prospects, your clients can recognize, okay, this person has the solution to my answer. This person has the value that I need right now. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. I would love to answer any questions you may have. And I highly recommend that you use these two books in your everyday life so that you can gain knowledge, a bit more understanding, and you can start implementing these techniques and strategies in your own business with your sales team, because we all need training every day, that 1% daily growth. I have an upcoming workshop that's coming up on October 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, talking about humility and confidence in leadership. I highly recommend that you join that workshop. And the reason why I highly recommend it is because we're going to show you how you can merge these two things together, humility and confidence, so that your prospects can connect with you on a deeper level, not only on a psychological level, but also on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. They feel so aligned and connected with you that they know that you have the solutions that they need. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on another episode. Have an incredible day, everyone. Bye.